thank you mostly for attending what has to be, for Eric and Jackie, arguably one of the most beautiful days in their life so far. Thank you mostly for being so flexible this afternoon. I'm not sure if this is plan C or D, but here we are. And welcome to the Bahamas and to the Destination Wedding Experience, you two. This is really probably some practice for real life. You can be flexible on your wedding day. It's good for the future, we promise you that. Before we commence with the rest of the ceremony, I'd like to ask who's present here today just to give away this beautiful young bride. Thank you. So you may be seated at this time. Ladies and gentlemen. Well, once again, you two, congratulations. Jackie, I know you're in a different aisle this afternoon, but the look on your face as you came down the aisle says it all. And congratulations to both of you as you take this amazing new step in your relational journey. Eric, you will just a quick look around at all who have gathered here today with you and your wife. This is the expression of men who just realized he's about to get married. Just to all families present, once again, we welcome you all here. Listen, it doesn't really matter where you get married in life. The truth is, there's a very definitive realization that brings both of you here this afternoon, and it's really your belief that as far as you are concerned, and certainly by way of your estimation of each other, you believe that you have found the one. There's 7 billion people on this planet. This is the only one you want to grow old with. That's a pretty big statistical compliment you can pay one another. But there's another reality that we celebrate as your family and friends gathered here today. And it's also your belief that you've actually been in each other's lives long enough to come to this one place, this one essential place. And that, quite simply, is just to give the best of who you are to one another. And when you get there, you cross this line in your relationship. We call it a rite of passage, where from this point on, this relationship is more incomparable to all others. And that's why today it's so profound on so many levels. So we commend what you're about to do. Our part here as family and friends is really quite simple yet very sincere, and that's just to place our collective blessing in you both. We're here because we believe very deeply in what you're about to do. And we're very excited about what the future holds, because if you love the past, in a manner of speaking, today is really the beginning of the rest of your life. You have so much to look forward to. I'm very excited about that. Before we give you a chance to say some vows this afternoon, Eleanor Roosevelt once observed that on the day that you finally choose to get married, you will look back at this moment for the rest of your life and realize you actually never did marry one person. It's almost as if you're going to marry 3 kinds of people, she suggests. And the first person you're about to marry is the person you've already fallen in love with. It is everything that you know today that you love about your partner. Everything, as you look past all those years spent together, that you believe has drawn them to your life. And really after today, life will give you both countless opportunities to reenact through thought, through word, but mostly through your intention, that particular sentiment where you say it again and again, here's why I still love you. If you're still doing that 20 years from now, you're doing what we call being present in each other's lives, because you look upon each day as simply another opportunity to say it again and again. And so our simple invitation to you both is to live that intentionally in each other's lives. The second person you're about to marry is not just why you love this person, it is everything they actually have come to believe they know and love about themselves. And this is simply the reminder to both of you, although there's a certain degree of compatibility that you know has brought you together, there's another kind of wisdom that you also embrace today, which is simply to say to one another, I take you as you are. I will take all that I know makes you different, distinctive from myself, and I will actually be the one person for the rest of your life that will not change what you love most about yourself. And we actually call this, ironically, being happily incompatible. Because if you ask anyone here today who's been married for quite a long time, they will tell you that with the passage of time, you don't actually become more compatible, you become more like yourself. And so you actually marry someone in life who will embrace those things that make you mostly who you are. So Eric, the Chinese culture simply says this on men on their wedding day. They say happy wife, happy life. You just have to keep Jackie happy in this relationship. It goes without saying you'll always be happily married to her. Jackie, they also say behind every great man is a very strong woman. And so your love today is not only profound because you know why you're in love, but also because you believe from this point forward, your relationship in the best sense of the word is truly reciprocal. The last person you're about to marry, probably the most notable distinction that we as your family and friends can draw upon this most auspicious occasion, is simply the person your spouse is going to become after today, because they only believe that you are the person in their life they will give the very best and all of themselves to you. There's really no one else by way of human relationship that's going to get the best of them. They have reserved that distinction for you and you alone. That actually means from this day forward, you have to count yourself and regard yourself as being the most fortunate person in each other's lives because you're going to get it all. And so I know she's known and loved by many, but Eric, you are the only person, sir, she wants to hear it from the most, because she's going to give you her youth, her affection, her intimacy, the best that she can possibly give. And you're going to love her for that. And in closing, Jackie, I'll give you 20 years of marriage counseling in 30 seconds. Men, of course, don't need to know how beautiful they are in a relationship. We just need to know, oddly and paradoxically enough, that the women that we marry simply allow us to be who we are. You're the one person he can actually make the greatest amount of mistakes around, because that's how much he knows you believe in who he is becoming. And men with those kind of women become great men because they're unafraid all of the time of being exactly who they are. So, once again, we commend you to that kind of future. I asked our couples if they could share why they would like to get married today. They don't actually know what their partner's going to say, so the cat is officially out of the bag. Jackie says, what I love about our relationship is we can always laugh together no matter what the situation is. Even when we're fighting, we're still laughing. I know that we will always save money. Eric can haggle anyone who wants. I've met this man. He's amazing in that respect. We're also both messy, and I love that about us. You'll never find the toilet paper on the roll. We're both too lazy to change it. Although I have to say, for the record, he did do the dishes every day last week. I love the fact that Eric thinks he's the most funny person in the world. I also like the fact that he never listens to everything that I say, especially when he's playing computer games. Typical. He loves the fact that I hate to cuddle. That's where our dog comes in. He knows how to deal with me when I'm cranky, especially in the mornings. But I also know he will always support and especially respect me. Eric, you are very ambitious. I know that you will always strive to be the best husband, and I cannot wait to return the favor by being your best wife. Aww. Eric, not to be outdone, has this by way of response. He's given us a short essay. I'm just giving you a few excerpts at this time. Since our relationship began with a great date, I remember it to the T. We both ate chicken and got along very well. While we always loved being together, our quirks are also what we have in common and what keeps us together. Whenever each of us come home from work, we don't give each other a kiss. We simply kiss the dog first. Jackie motivates me to try new things, and I love her for that. I would have to say I never would have tried it had it not been for her in my life, like going on hikes, snorkeling, Europe, Alaska, you name it, even getting on a helicopter and flying to the top of a glacier. Driving through a forest, getting lost in Venice. This woman has changed me on every level. What I love about Jackie is her sacrifices for me are simply and profoundly unbelievable. When I recently received an amazing job opportunity near Philadelphia, this lady did not hesitate at the prospect of moving away with me so that I could simply have a better career for our future. Jackie, as I think of what lies ahead, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We've had so many amazing experiences. As we now look forward to the future, I realize that this is just the beginning. The past 4 years, I think, has just been a prequel to all the great things to come. I cannot wait to be married to you. Thanks. And that is their version. I'd like to give you both a chance to say some vows this afternoon. The first party of vows we called quite simply the Declaration of Consent. I'd like to ask you a question as you look into each other's eyes, and simply give you a chance to respond by saying I do or I will. Never before perhaps have those two words carried as much meaning as they do today for both of you, because of the profound measure of what you mean when you say that. So, Eric, will you have Jackie as your wife, sir, to love together in the state of matrimony? Do you also promise to love her, to comfort her, to honor, and to keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others from this day forward, to be true and faithful to her alone, so long as you both shall? That was a yes. Jackie, will you have Eric as your husband to love together as well in the estate of matrimony? Do you also promise to love him, to comfort him, to honor, to keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others from this day forward, to be true and faithful to your husband alone, so long as you both shall? I do. You're getting accolades at every turn. Eric, can you please repeat after me, sir, your formal vows to your wife at this time, in the presence of our witnesses.
In the presence of our witnesses.
I, Eric, take you, Jackie,
Jackie,
to be no other than yourself, to have and to hold, in the estate of matrimony, to love you, to comfort you, to honor and to keep you in sickness and in health from this day forward. Jackie, will you please repeat after me your vows to your husband? In the presence of our witnesses, I, Jackie, take you, Eric, to be no other than yourself, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, as long as we both shall live. May we have the rings at this time? Someone had it. You have the rings. Well, as you give these rings to one another today, even though they're only symbols, you realize that really your relationship is probably the most definitive symbol that you will always have with you. It's what you've come to know has actually not only brought you into each other's lives, it's what keeps you there. And the truth is, whatever works for you two doesn't actually have to work for anyone else. You have your own rules for this relationship. And the best part is you've earned the right in each other's eyes, not only as you stand before family and friends, but mostly because you bring by way of personal recall and also by admiration the full knowledge of how much you've built this amazing relationship. It's also a celebration, as mentioned earlier today, that the people that we choose to marry in life, they never stay the same. We're always evolving. We're always becoming and defining ourselves in new ways. And so today is simply your promise that no matter who your partner becomes in life, they will find you in their company in the best sense of the word as you two evolve and change with them. And so Eric, as an expression of love, sir, for your wife today, if I should place that ring on her ring finger at this time. Welcome to the Bahamas. Just holding her hand in yours. Look in the eyes of your lady. Please repeat after me. Jackie, it's your part. This ring I give to you as a symbol of my love. And I pledge to you my loyalty and my devotion as long as I live. And with this ring, I give you my promise that from this day forward, you will never walk alone. I am so proud to be your husband. Jackie, in expression of love for your husband, if I should place that ring on his ring finger at this time. Just repeat after me. Aaron, this ring I also give to you as a symbol of my love. And I pledge to you my loyalty and my devotion as long as I live. And with this ring, I also give you this promise that from this day forward, you will never walk alone. I am so proud to be your wife. So Eric and Jackie, as much as you've gathered here today, in a very sincere, very intentional manner, to offer your vows of love with obvious admiration for one another, expressing that same resonant belief in what is both given and received. It is now my distinct pleasure by the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, by the power vested in me, for your husband and wife. You may kiss your wives.